Hello and welcome to Melting of the Winter Gears. This is a visual novel about the story of a doll without a memory, a cat without a form, a soldier without family, and a drifter without a home. I had to say, from the HI page, the art of this looks really cool. So, anyway, without further ado, we will now start. Touchy and where it wants to go. There we go. Miss of the fiercely stormy night. The doll, once so cold and expressionless, finally overcome with an indescribable warmth. Feeling that seemed to flood the entire room in a gentle embrace. How sweet, how kind, how fragile. It was far too good to be true. The moment was soon to be extinguished with all the grace of a candle in a storm. But the doll, even knowing this, lay still until the breast melted into silence. Father? The door is quite open. Father, what on earth are you up to now? This is atrocious. Oh, well, you see. You know how late it is? I haven't checked. Of course you haven't, because we'll only get worse if you keep staying up so late. And it'll get doubly worse if you keep making yourself cry. I see. I'm sorry then. Enough of that. What is it that you got? This? Oh, you like it. I just know it. I've been transcribing this new story you sent from the bureau. It's one of bittersweet memory and love and mystery. So it's one of those. Really quite good. Some parts are missing, but I can see the promise. Apparently the town where it took place was wiped off the map. Why don't you hop up with Pop? Pop here and take a look-see, or looky-loo. Don't say something so disgusting. Dave, you say it has promise. I promise on its promise. If it isn't interesting, it's off to bed with you. And who's the parent in this situation exactly? I think we'll be up all night. Father, again presumptuous. Precisely. But let's get on with it, shall we? This is what I pieced together so far. Before the storm and the dancing and the singing and the heartbreak, there was a doll wadding through the snow. From far off she looked like a phantom, white locks and thin shawl floating behind her on the stinging winter wind. Upon closer inspection, however, one could see the clicking ball joints with fingers and hands through thin layers of ice. Cold did not bother her. She was truly inhuman, walking with such a blank expression. Doll had been walking for a long time. In truth, she was following a set of abandoned train tracks, buried beneath the snow. A normal human of flesh and blood would have given up and frozen solid by now, but this doll had no flesh to frostbite or blood to freeze. She simply walked on, music box in hand, following the tracks that would lead her to a town full of people who would have money to spend. Command echoed in her head. All we need to do is play the music and get us some money. Got it? Yeah, I was about to say, what does a doll need with money anyway, but guess that's, for her master. Sorts, I guess. How long ago was it that she had heard those words? It was farther than yesterday. It was more distant than last year. A time hardly exists for a doll. Words were engraved into her cogs and wheels as soon as they were spoken. A command that must always be followed, even after the speaker has long since disappeared. All at once, the railroad tracks came to an abrupt end. Before the door lay a winter white town. play a song for coin. Any song for coin? A nickel for a few notes, melody for metal. Tell me, what do you wish to hear? There was no answer. Town stood without word. Play song for a coin. Any song for coin? Oh, kitty cat! And the before door appeared a light-coloured cat, smoke-like body blending into the snow. She twitched her tail while staring inquisitively at the frozen traveller. And that is one mighty tail. That's a very long tail. I wonder if the cat is tripping over itself on occasion. I mean, cats are supposed to be very nimble and light on their feet, so... But, I mean, if they're not an orange cat, that is, then... Pretty sure orange cats are just another breeding on themselves. Anyway, Dole stared back. Is there something you wish to hear? You are speaking to me? No, I'm speaking to the house behind you. So the glass thing can bite. How fascinating. Fascinating enough to buy a song, I hope. Cats wish their tail in irritation. Pesky traveller was missing some manners. Any song is it? So if I ask for the sound of a dog's barking, will you play it? I cannot. How about an elephant's trumpet, or raven's call? I cannot. So you cannot. You offer anything I wish to hear, and yet you can do something so simple. Pathetic as they come, offering things you can't deliver. That's how it is with glass things like you. You wander and babble until you exhaust your purpose and crack apart. Got anything to say, glass thing? If you're so eager for the sound of an elephant, why don't you go find one yourself? And while you're doing that, find a coin so I can play you something. Cat searched for an opening, but the doll's eyes were truly cold. Fine, glass thing. Then you pick the song. It'll give you a bit of purpose. If that's what you wish. So the doll's porcelain hands found their way to the crank of her music box. Mysterious contraption began to play a song. Cogs and wheels worked in time while the brass face rattled gently. Paint on the hand was worn through with use. Metal plaques were in disrepair or desperate need of polish. Still, the song surely continued. Flickering cat stood, transfixed by the sound. See, the town had been silent for so long. For a moment, barren land seemed to come alive. Music cut through the snow and buried itself into the earth, floated above the rooftops and soaked into the sky. A song that had been played for so many years through so many towns sounded like a miracle. All the while, Dole expressionlessly cranked the box. It was a song. I know that. Tell me, where did you learn it? From somewhere. No, where did you get it? From someone. You're no good to talk to. What a killjoy. Let's have the pleasure of never meeting again. Ta-ta. At the moment, the dog reached down and yanked the cat's tail. Yeah, unhand me, you witch. Yeah, you don't want to mess with a cat, cause... yeah, they have some very mean claws and fangs on them. And they can easily fuck you up. But you haven't paid me yet. Think a precious kitty like me would have coined? Fool, Lorne, you violent delinquent. I'll let you go when you pay your due. I ain't got a red cent, it's the truth. Slowly the door loosened her grip on the screeching feline. She didn't seem to fully comprehend the situation. You're still expecting it, aren't you? foolish, loonish glass thing. I don't have anything for you. But there's someone out there who does. Get turned and padded off into town. Doll, unsure, stood still in the listery open. Her glassy eyes searched the town before her. Nothingness upon nothingness. So she followed after. How long had it been since the town was alive? Doll walked alongside the crumbling buildings, doomed to collapse in total obscurity. Paint was chipped and faded, reptiles done in. Remnants of a now colourless paper clung to the rusted nails along the walls. All the words had been wiped away by last season's rain. Maybe the season before that, or the one before that. How empty that little slice of the country was. Enough so to make you think there was no one else left in the world. Couldn't get much coin if you were the only one in the world, could you? Mysterious cat disappeared from sight. However, her tiny paw prints in the snow left more than enough of a trail, and so the doll obediently followed it. She wandered through the long dead markets, past the broken fences, and over the occasional puddle of silver bullet casings. Okay, that's kind of ominous and kind of dark. It was at the heart of the hollow town that she found a pond, a bridge, and a body with a wistful grin. The body lay still in a pillow of snow. "Are you awake?" the doll asked. The body started stirring. Grin grew very slightly bigger. Doll took a step forward to look. Clothes were loose and tattered and flecked with bits of frost. Patches had been sewn in with a clumsy hand. A single puff was emitted from their bluish lips, but their eyes, dark with raccoon-like circles, floated open halfway. "Oh, so the guy is still alive. We'll go." "It's about time, isn't it?" they whispered. Voice came out like a crumpling paper. Doll could only stare blankly back at that smiling blue face. "To be honest, I didn't think you'd come for me. A creature of my kind, going out like that, it sure doesn't sound right to me, but Miss Angel, I'm happy I waited a little longer. Sorry that I couldn't do better. You can take me now." The bed-wriggled body extended their hand towards the doll, look of relief washing over their tired face. Finally, it was over. They could feel content, the broken heart very cold beneath the snow at last. The doll abruptly slapped their hand away. "Okay, that's kind of rude." "Yeah. Miss Angel, pardon my offences, but..." Doll put her open hand forward and made a curt motion. "Money." "Money? I don't think you should be taking money from a dying man here." "Yes, pay up." "Gee, Miss Angel, there's some kind of new penance thing. Even heaven is come by rough times." "Angels? Heaven? I don't know about any of that. I only want money." Scruffy stranger paused in shock. Relief on their face melted into confusion with an exhausted sigh. "So that's how it is. I'm not getting let off so easy. So much for that. What's it that I got to pay for?" "The song." "What song?" "The one I played." "You're a doll, right? Really mistook you for a beautiful angel. Don't remember ordering any songs from you. Nice as I'm sure they are, all I've been doing is counting sheep. What a nice dream I was having. I even got to see a beautiful angel." "You're that desperate for money, huh?" Command echoed once again. "All we need to do is play the music and get us some money. Got it?" "Man, you're an old one, aren't you?" I think I understand pretty well. No stopping that, I guess." From the coat the stranger produced in a jingling purse. Doll's hand immediately went for the prize, but the sneaky drifter's hands were even faster. You rascal, you. You'll do a little something for me. I'll give you some of this, too, to you. Sweet deal, ain't it? If I wait for you to fall asleep... Man, you really are cold-hearted, aren't you? You really are willing to, steal from a cold, dead corpse. Whoa, miss, that's a little hardcore. I'm not gonna make you do anything wild. Just spend the day with me. That's all I'm asking. Spend the day? Yeah, let's enjoy each other's company. Talk a little, have a walk around. Take in some amateur philosophizing. The place is as empty as a church on a weekday, so seeing you come along makes me feel 10 kinds lucky. Company? If that's all there is to it, I don't see a problem. Doll was met with a charming smile. Beneath the exhaustion and chills, the stranger's good-natured grin broke through. Doll's face twitched to mirror them. It was an expression made long ago, nearly forgotten from lack of use. A way of saying hello, or even just because. Yes, that's what a smile was for. It's a gift you gave to someone else while simply existing. Gee, miss, and here I was thinking you were ice all the way through. Let's see if you can get a few more of those grins out of you. No problem, but it'll cost you extra. Good thing I have some pennies to spare. Sorry I didn't ask your proper... Sorry, I didn't ask your name proper. I'm Noel. What about you? I'm... Back then, she said. I know, it's perfect for you. Look just like a... My name is Lillian. That's a lovely name. Thank you very much. And so, I'm not quite sure where to go from there. Father, it's not that I haven't got to the papers, it's just that things seem to be a bit out of order. Don't know the two went around the town a bit, but where and when? Gonna fuss about it, I'll just fix it for you. Darling, what are you doing? Putting together, that's what. What's this all about? That's the map, dear. Be careful with that. If I were them, I'd go... Ooh, which one do we choose? The business district, the church, or the outskirts? I say let's go to the business district. Maybe Lillian can get a bit more coin out of the other people out there. If it's not as abandoned as this little town we came across. Good place to take someone on a date, isn't it? Normally, yes, but you must take the town's condition into perspective. At time it was but a shell of its former glory. Markets would have been empty with not a soul to serve them. Fine, just pick a new one, okay? No, little lady, we'll stick with this. Oh, okay, cool. But why? Because if you close down every possibility, you'll lose your freedom as a storyteller. That is actually a fair point. They're on their way to the busiest side of town. People were here once, so it seemed. There was evidence all around. Cafes with colourful signs offering the day special. Bakeries delivering fresh confectionaries at sunrise. Dainty shops displaying the newest fashions. All the way from the big city. All the crowds that must have gathered there for the Sunday market. Way the people must have pushed and pulled through the lively streets. How pleasant, how peaceful, how ideal. There was a astounding crack in Noel's boots, or as Noel's boots crushed something embedded within the snow. Nothing, they said, inspecting the ground. Just a bit of glass. For maybe I was thinking to myself, God, I really hope it's not like a bone of the remains of one of the people here, because otherwise this will turn into a very different game. Beside them was a shop window, shattered beyond repair and glittering in the light. Mannequins within were toppled onto each other. Dustings of glass were lodged into their cotton sides. How pleasant, how peaceful, and how ideal. It was surely like that once. Two walked quietly through the glittering streets until they stopped in front of a building covered in tattered paper. Tale of love and passion, the whirlwind of the West. Heart-rending a soldier's last stand against an impossible foe. Got the face of an angel and the mind of an imp, a shocking twist. Faces of beautiful people with rosy lips and starry eyes peeked through the tears of the giant poster. The theatre was covered in boards and nails and long-gone people, but Noel's eyes still sparkled at the sight. Take a look, shall we? He grinned brightly and pushed against the heavy doors, which were barely hanging onto the rusted hinges. They hardly budged. Noel pushed. They huffed and passed their feeble weight against the door. There was a slight groan, but not much progress. Lillian watched quietly. Without thinking, she reached forward and gave a push. The door creaked, hinges crumbled, and the dew went tumbling inward. To the dark they went, with all the grace of an elephant on roller skates. A healthy cloud of dust greeted them as they kissed the ground. Yeah, we might need to wash our mouths out with soap after that if we do too much more kissing on the ground. Miss Lillian? Miss, are you okay? Miss, please answer. So loud, I'm trying to sleep. Feeling comedic, aren't we? It's dark, so I decided to lighten the mood. That's funny, but I was really worried for a moment. Like, what if you really did get knocked out? Or if your box was broken? I am a doll. This box can be repaired as easily as me. I suppose so. There's no need to worry. She stated it as if she had many times in the past. With common knowledge, of course. Dolls can't feel pain. Anything can be repaired or replaced. Even so, the expression on Noel's face stayed. It's natural to worry about somebody when you think they've been hurt. Doesn't matter if they actually were or not. Just a natural reaction. Oh, then I'm immensely worried? What's the matter, miss? Ren seems to be seriously injured. Did you hit it on the way down? Kind of rude, but please answer me. Sure, make fun of me all you want, but there's nothing wrong with feeling the way I do. It's that kind of empathy that makes the world go round. Face radiated a blinding enthusiasm. Such a bed-wriggled bum, the words came off so optimistic. Then felt a twinge of something odd. So you really see the world like that? Sure I do. Sounds nice, don't it? What's with the face, miss? Doll stood abruptly and dusted off her skirts. She cranked her musical box a few times, just to check. Working just fine after all. So she turned to walk farther into the dilapidated theatre, leaving Noel all by his lonesome. Miss, wait for me. And so the crying bum went scrambling after. Poor dude. Miss Lillian, I don't want to be too clingy, but a part of enjoying each other's company is sticking together, yeah? Another word Lillian pointed to the ceiling, rather the lack of one. roof of the ancient theatre had caved in, causing a perfect circle of white sky to pour an equally perfect circle of white snow onto the seats below. Noah's enthusiasm melted ever so slightly. So that's how it is, huh? I guess it's to be expected. Not like we could get a good flick anyhow. Indeed, he was right. The screen at the very front had been ripped through, just crushed by a giant claw. I hope that giant claw isn't real, because otherwise that giant claw is attached to a giant creature, which I hope to never run into. Tide drifted aside and half collapsed to the ground. Are you taking a nap now? Nah, I'm just getting a breather. The dwarf fiasco might have knocked something out of me after all. It's a shame. This place was probably really nice once. But now it's too late, I guess. The voice died off into a wistful breath. To Lillian, they looked just as they did when she found them in the snow. Tired, empty, like they were to melt away in an instant. Hand on the crank of the box, she stepped forward out of the shade of the theatre and into the crunching snow. Light cascaded down from the ceiling and illuminated the doll in white. It looked like an angel, or a ghost. Stood very still, not a single puff of breath from her porcelain lips. Seconds in that dilapidated theatre seemed to come to a halting stop. But the moment was suddenly flooded with the wondrous sound of the mechanical box. All at once the theatre was full. It was filled with people, it was filled with voices, it was filled with colour and life. Memory of a time before washed over the room. The ghost in white played it with a steady hand, never hesitating for a second. This is your song. This is what it sounds like. Noah watched intently. They wished so deeply to close their eyes and drift off into darkness. Truth, the mind was racked with exhaustion. How nice it would be to finally fall asleep. But not now. Not in this moment. Not when the world was filled with so much life. Noelle watched the door and the light all around her, till the minutes began yet again. Lillian ended the song with one last crank, before turning to face to her companion. Has the brain damage finally caught up to you? And there's Miss Lillian, I know. For a moment I really thought I was seeing an angel again. Oh, brain damage after all. Damn it, Lillian. Can you be just a little bit nicer? But I guess you are a porcelain doll, so you wouldn't really have much of a feeling, if any. Maybe so. Hey, how long have you had that box there? Doll paused and thought. Never stopped to wonder about that before. At this point it was like an extension of her very self. There was not a memory without it. I was born with it. What are you, identical twins? Yes. Noah waited for an extended retort, one of the sarcastic variety, but it never came. She was as stone-faced as always. You really mean it, don't you? I don't see an issue. Box has many mechanical parts, so do I. We have a similar composition. Must be ordered every once in a while to keep the gears running smoothly, same as I. This is little difference between me and this box. Said all this in complete sincerity, Will mulled over before giving a small laugh. I didn't think about it that way. Understand, you're a little better now. Yeah, that makes sense. Now this is truly the Miss Lillian I know. Thank you. And as naturally as playing the song, the doll smiled. made their way through the dark of the theatre and back to the front entrance. Oddly, the class door had been moved aside as to avoid tripping. Wasn't like that before, was it? Possible. Uh-oh, we aren't alone. Maybe that, giant creature maybe does exist? Maybe he's just a gentle giant. Oh, we can only hope. Hurriedly, the two walked back into the glittering street. Okay, where are we going to now? The church or the outskirts? Okay, let's go to the church next. I think we'll leave the outskirts for last. A town of sunken roofs and crumbling stone, the church steeple rose proud and tall and untouched overhead. Somehow, it was avoided the conflict that rose in the streets below. As if the iron fence around it warded off bullets and stone. As if a greater power had ignored all but it. The white steeple against the white snowscape in a sea of empty shells. Even the overgrown vines in the front garden were a wonder. Depths of winter, they still remained a vibrant green. It twisted and crawled along the walls, encasing the church in a leafy embrace. Perhaps it was a protective spell. Two drifters allowed themselves in through the fence and into the garden of green. Magical, ain't it? Noel sighed. It makes this place feel a little less like a coffin. He stumbled on ahead. A slight bow and an enormous grin. Noel held the door open. Inside, rainbow-coloured lights were pouring from the stained glass windows. Specks of dust were caught dancing in their streams. It's like the centre of a marble. Lillian couldn't help but be drawn in. What a colour in the whole world was hidden in this room. Town was forgotten by time, but this church was completely, totally untouched by it. What do you think? I thought so. The only thing that would make it nice is if there were some people around. But it's too late for that, I guess. Oh, I know. We can play church. It's good to go, right? Play church? It's a pretend game. Kids play it all the time. You make up whatever you want. It'll cost you extra. Fine by me. I'll be the confessor and you'll be the priest. Father, I've done something I am ashamed of. Did anyone see? Only the eyes of our Lord. Then it's okay. But, Father, I've sinned. A terrible sin at that. What did you do? I stole. What did you steal? Money. Can I have God damn it, Lillian. Yeah, maybe don't mention money in front of the money-obsessed porcelain doll. Father, I could do no such thing. Can't have you partake in my sin. Understand, my child. You do? Of course. Admitting to such an act is an admirable thing in the eyes of the Lord. Patient and kind priest presented her cupped hands to the pitiful sinner. What is it, Father? Nothing, child. Just time to pay your tithe. God damn it. Excuse me, Miss Lillian, but you'd be a terrible priest. Very pretty one, but still all terrible. Excuse me, Mr. Sinner, but you'd be a terrible thief. Maybe when it comes to money, but not to hearts. Hear what I said? I did, but I'm waiting for the punchline. It wasn't a joke. God damn it, Lillian. And I'm still waiting. It's Lillian. Made me all sorts of nervous. But you're pretty interesting too. Sure, many things are interesting to you. For one, you make everything sound like an insult. For two, you always got that stone cold face on. For three. Cillian, do you mind me asking something? Victor's face had the usual cheerful expression. Voice echoed out in a stark serious. Is there anything you wish you could confess? If there really was a priest there, of course. Is there anything you would say? No. Oh, nothing at all? There's nothing to say. Dole said it on reflex, but something about it felt odd. She searched, but there was truly nothing. Looking within herself only led to a void of nothingness, a pit empty all the way down. Hey, don't beat yourself up. I'm sorry. Some folks say dolls don't have feelings. Not real ones, anyway. But I just can't believe that. If somebody is all wrong just because they can't express things funny, just rubs me the wrong way. It's bad. It's bad? It's awful. It's hellish. The kind of thinking, it just makes you want to kill over dead, doesn't it? Noel's sharp laugh cut through the church air. Pit in Lillian's chest felt even deeper. If I were a priest, a terrible one, yes, you could confess to me. Is that an offer, Miss Lillian? I was only playing church. Oh, I see. Just playing church. A child's game. Simple as that. If I were to confess... If I were to confess... I'll scratch their chin in an exaggerated thought. Mused and mulled and meditated. Not for a moment did Lillian's stare waver. Nope, I don't have anything. Liar. Nothing. I don't have a single regret, Father. Please listen to the sincerity of my lily white words. Live my life with nothing but joy and inner fulfillment. Yippee! Did you find that fulfillment falling down the stairs, or have you always been this joyful? Good one, but I really mean it. There are things I could have done better, but the result would have been the same. Yeah, that was Noel saying that. It's pointless to regret things like that. Maybe if I had to, I'd say I regret being born, or something like that. Please, did you really fall down the stairs? We're not alone in here. Was somebody just outside? Perhaps. Yes, there shouldn't be anyone else in town besides us. Not even a cat? Way too cold for anything to be wandering out here. Heck, and the birds are shaking. Is that so? It's probably just the wind. Let's get a move on, alright? Early Noel peeked out the door. Iron gate outside was swinging slightly ajar. Bonded was a thin trail of disgruntled snow. Trail from where the duo walked in. Or was it from someone else entirely? No soul in sight. Radol looked around blankly, and all felt a shiver all the way down. Couldn't be. So close. Too close. All the two could do was walk on. I don't like this at all. This gonna suddenly turn into like a horror game. Okay, but anyway, we're going to the outskirts. It was the depths of winter, but something about the outside felt truly cold. Town was an empty shell left behind by time. Every part of it feeling hollow, feeling distinctly unalive. Any trace of warmth had been erased the cruel years before. but the outside was different. You see, for the outside, there had never been any warmth in the first place. It did not feel alive, but it was a place where things were taken, were broken, were hurt. A place where things were shattered apart and buried. The sense was so strong it cooled through the frozen earth around the travelers above. Something about this place was wrong. Dole absentmindedly continued walking, but all had come to a sudden stop. The wind tugged fiercely at their patchy coats, nipped at their padded lips. Dread was overwhelming. Pulled their coat tighter around them. Lillian finally stopped and turned to look back. It was pulling so hard her shawl was about to fly off her. Hallie blinked as flecks of white blowing ice fell into her frozen face. It blended in almost perfectly with the rest of the landscape. It was as if in a moment she would fade away. Noel stood shaking at the edge of the town. Oh, this is some pretty scenery. What are you doing? She made no movement, neither did Noel. Only the wind blew between them. Nothing interesting out there, miss. Let's go somewhere else. There's some trees. She pointed. Indeed, there were a bundle of trees, barely outlined in the distance. There were some indistinguishable mountains. Perhaps something interesting really was there. Perhaps there was something they wished to see. Perhaps there was even someone else. I don't know. There's something about this place. Can't you feel it? Okay, then let me make another selfish request. I'll even pay you extra. Double. Is money that much of a concern? Would you rather pay triple? Double, quadruple, I don't care. But Miss Lillian, please come over here. That's all I ask. Please, just listen to me. Wonder what he's so worked up about. Wonder if there's something keeping him from leaving this place. I'm wondering, is that why he was laying on the ground when we first met him? When we entered the town? Is it because when he tried to leave, he got knocked out? Some hesitation, the door returned back to the familiarity of town. Noel gave a sigh of relief. It was shaking beneath their oversized coats. Once again, the two were in the desolate void. Still, the sense lingered. So Lillian glanced behind her. The entire scene was blank, with only the faintest impression that there was a world beyond it. Trees, mounds, something else as well. Fleck color dotted the otherwise empty landscape. Possible to be sure, but Lillian felt as if the fleck was staring back. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So they returned to the bridge where they met. Before they even knew it, the sky turned dark and the air even colder than before. Small spatterings of light between the peak out from above. The bridge was just as they had left it. No shaped snow angel and all. Ah, how the time does fly. Feels like we only just started. Except my joints. Joints don't feel that way at all. Wait, what do your joints feel? Feel like they want to crumple into that snow pile there and take a nice long nap. Wouldn't you know? Brilliant powder flakes began to flutter down from the sky. Noel yanked their hands out from their pockets and tipped their chin up into the air. Eyes closed, they let the snow fall where it may. What are you doing? It's freezing over. I'm freezing over. Why would you do that? Because it feels nice, I think. Things get colder, they feel cleaner somehow. Like the frostbite clears out all the bad stuff. Hurts a little, but everything lasts longer. To Lillian, they looked like a lonely statue. Snow piled up on their hand coat sleeves until it appeared that they had always been here, standing, waiting, arms outstretched. Time marched by, but they would always be there, waiting. It was made clear by the look on their face. The place they once belonged no longer existed. All they could do now was wait. I nearly forgot. Promised to pay, didn't I? Double, triple, whatever. Fished around in their pocket and produced a tempting coin purse, given it a good shake. And so... Actually, did we ever agree on the price? It was somewhere from 1 to 2 million, I believe. God damn, Lillian. I don't think the poor guy has that many coins on him. Now, miss. I doubt all the purse in this countryside would fit that. Let's see here. I'm going to count out the coins in the purse. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Brilliant idea struck them. Took Lillian's hand in their own, and with the wildest grin, they abandoned counting and simply dropped the entire bag in her palm. Oh, this. That's good enough for you? It's all I got. It's a satisfactory amount. Thank you. Lillian had never held so much money in her life. Weight of the coin felt otherworldly. It caused the person to her chest in disbelief. Thank you very much. Thank you for the company. It's been a while since I've enjoyed myself so much. Say, miss, now that you got all that money, what do you do next? I'll go get more money. More? And after that, I'll go find more. Is that all you're out for? I don't understand how that's wrong. She gazed at him with unquestionable sincerity. Not once had she ever considered anything else. Why should she? Those were the words she was born with. Lillian. Around that moment, a fierce wind tore through the town. Words were stolen right out of his mouth. Maybe it's a sign that you should start looking for cover. Storm was looking pretty nasty. Doll nodded and fastened her music box tight, but when she turned to go, Doll was standing just as still. Aren't you coming with? I'm busy. Busy standing around in the cold? Sure. Gosh, are you suddenly interested in me, Miss Lillian? He tugged her shawl tighter around her and huffed. Hardly, you're just acting odd. Was her response just an annoyingly bright smile? Please then, I could care less. Alrighty then. Send her and turn to a hunk of ice. Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself. Looked about as chipper as they had before. Lillian was bewildered by that kind of face, so she turned on her heel and trudged through the snow, away from the old stranger and their disconcerting smile. She only wished to get as far away as possible. Maybe she would leave this town as soon as tomorrow, even in the midst of night. Marched on faster than the wind in her ears, jingled the coins in her purse. Behind her, the stranger waved. Got smaller and smaller until they became but a flickering speck. And all at once, they were swallowed up by the storm. Yeah, looks like our own storm is brewing. What in the world was that? That storm? is a storm, Father? I don't remember the storm being quite that early in the story now. Let me take a look. Means a real life, dumbwit. Oh, you scentless oaf. The storm is outside this very instant. Ah, I see. What a surprising circumstance we've situated ourselves in. Or rather, Mother Nature situated us in. Don't tell me you're afraid of a little thunder, dear. I'm not. I'm merely cautious. There's no harm in some healthy caution, is there? Not at all. It'd be trouble if you were actually afraid, of course. But good stories have a few ferocious storms. When the town was becoming fiercer, colder, but it was nothing compared to what would happen next. Do you remember who was in the town? There's the door lady, of course, and the bum guy, and the cat. That's correct. But there was someone else as well, just that nobody had noticed them yet. But we definitely noticed him, yeah. It was only a matter of time.